Shalom. I do want to start off this lesson by saying all praises to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH for giving me the opportunity to do this lesson today. I do want to give double honor to the elders and apostle Great Millstone for teaching the truth by using precept upon precepts and line upon line. My name is RAWCHAA for the Camp of Prophets in Babylon. Alright, coming through another lesson today. And this lesson is going into the UFO topic. And the reason why is because Congress or some political people in the government is questioning why is people shutting down the UFO topic. They're questioning of why people's not giving out the answers, and the reason why is because they don't want you to know what's really going on. All right, but us men of the Lord, the prophets that is in the Yahawahs and Bahawahs, we will tell you. We will tell you what's going on. All right, and what's actually going on is that those chariots that you're seeing are the chariots of those UFOs that you're seeing are the chariots of Yahawah BAHASHAM Yahushai. And they're here not for for greetings or to welcome humans. No, they're here to judge the heathens for what you have done to the Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. They're here for vengeance, basically. All right, and this is all according to scriptures. I'm not trying to bring this out my behind just to scare. No, these UFOs are here to judge you heathens. That's what they're here for. All right, and those are not called UFOs. They're not unidentified. They are identifiable. Those are the chariots of Yahweh Shemashai. All right, and the scriptures that we all go to, Zechariah chapter 5. All right, and I'm on my laptop right now, so it might take a minute. But Zechariah chapter 5 talks about how Yahweh BaHashem Yahushai put a curse upon the house of thieves with chariots. All right, because those chariots are going to be a sign, a wonder, to show what's going to happen to them when Yahweh Shemashai is going to judge them. And what is he going to do with the chariots? He's going to judge Esau. He's going to laser. He's going to zap them, basically. He's going to kill you Edomites. All right, and those are the chariots to prove that. The fact that these chariots are coming in and out of America without you guys' permissions, the fact that it's going to Israel, into the Middle East, is there for a setup for prophecy, for your judgment, for the heathen judgment. Because ultimately, when you guys go in the Middle East and you guys fight in World War III, and World War III is about to come to pass, you guys are ready to go to war with Russia, and the other nation going to be with you in the Middle East, Yahweh Shemashai is going to be there, and he's going to judge each and every last heathen for what you have done. Book of Joel 3 talks about how he's going to avenge Israel. So it's all adding up. The reason why they don't want to tell people is because they don't want you to believe in the prophecy. They don't want you to believe us prophets in the highways and byways. They just want us to look like a crazy people and crazy as long as possible, so they could keep the narrative. But the truth is coming out every single day. Esau Edom is becoming bare every single day. Or every single day Esau Edom is losing his kingdom. All right, one information comes out, another information comes out of how wicked he is. All right, how the liar he is, how he ain't all that. How he destroyed Jake, how he destroyed his own nation on purpose so he could be up. All right, all these information coming out against Edom. And very soon, people's going to realize who are the real Israelites. People's going to realize who are the real Jews. People's going to realize who are the chariots are. The secret's going to come out very soon. They could try to hide it. They could try to, crush it down. But it's going to come out no matter what. All right. So Zechariah chapter 5, let's go to verse 1. It says this: Then I turned and lift up my eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. And he said unto me, What seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. A length thereof is 20 cubits, and a breadth thereof 10 cubits. So basically, the prophet Zechariah basically saw a flying object. And when he was asked what he saw, he basically measured it, saying cubits, and breadth thereof 10 cubits. But ultimately, he saw a flying object. All right, back in the days, they didn't have the vocabulary words to describe it. All right, so what did they call it? They just called it a flying roll, a flying object, a flying thing. All right, just like another prophecy of book of Revelation, John the Revelator. When he saw newts coming from the sky, he described it as what? Falling stars. Because back in the days, they didn't have the vocabulary words for the object that they had seen. All right. The only reason why we understand it now is because we have the vocabulary words. We have the concept in this day and age. We know what kind of weaponry that could fly from one continent to another continent, and it looks like falling stars. It's a nuke. Everybody knows that. It's common sense, you know. And the same concept is happening in the book of Zechariah, chapter 5. He has no clue what this object is, but he just see what? A flying roll. He just describing what he see. All right. In this day and age, what is that flying roll? It's a UFO. If you look in the sky and you see an object flying, standing still, you know that's not a American jet. All right, because American jet can't do a 90-degree angle in a sharp turn while going 150 miles per hour. You don't see that happening. All right, for a jet got to do like a long U-turn to do a turn, or probably got to slow down, or it will be damaged by the G-force. But these chariots that you're seeing, they're not suffered by the G-force, showing you how these things are not, are not Yahweh. These are the chariots of YAHAWASHI, and these what the men of the Lord have been seeing. They were seeing flying objects zipping through the skies. Those are the chariots of YAHAWASHI. That's his power, So going back to the point, Zechariah chapter 5, let's read verse 2. And he said unto me, what seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits. Verse 3, then said he unto me, this is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. All right, so this is a curse that's going upon the whole earth, and this is being fulfilled as we speak. Many chariots are going in different areas, because Yahawah is setting up a day of judgment for you heathens for what you have done to the Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. It's a day of vengeance. For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off as on this side according to it, and everyone that sweareth shall be cut off on this side according to it. Who stole America? Who stole America? You Edomites. You can't deny it. It's in your history books. We all know about it. We damn near celebrate it as Thanksgiving. We celebrate Black Friday. We celebrated Christopher Columbus. We damn near made a documentary and made a movie about it every single day. Everybody knows about it. This curse is upon you for what you have done to the Israelites. And these UFOs you're seeing is for your judgment. Nobody else's. Why do you think back in slavery, Jake was saying, "Oh, sweet chariot, come and swing me home." Ooh, I forgot how to sing the song properly. But basically, Jake was saying that, chariots, please come and swing me home. Why do you think Jake was saying that? Because the chariots, their ship of the Most High Yahawah, they was calling upon their power. They forgot his name because the Most High took away his name away from them, but those are their power. And the chariots are here to take Jake back home. They're here to come and save Israel, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Americans. Basically, their captivity is over. All right. Verse 3. Then said unto me, this is the curse. Let's read verse 3 again. Then said he unto me, this is a curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off on this side according to it, and everyone that sweareth shall be cut off on this side according to it. Verse 4, I will bring it forth, said the Lord Yahawah of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief. So you guys, you Edomites, are the house of the thieves. You guys are the one he's coming for. And unto the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name, and shall remain in the midst of his house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof and a stone thereof. Well, that means what? Chariots, laser beams. All right, that seems outrageous, but that is true. These chariots will start laser beaming you Edomites in America. You're going to see that UFOs beaming buildings down. You're going to see UFOs killing people. That's what's going to happen. It is a great judgment towards you Edomites for what you have done to the Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Americans, and the other heathens too. All right, I want to grab this other scripture real quick. Revelation. Well, yeah. I want to grab Joel chapter 3 real quick first. Then I want to grab Revelation, because Book of Joel chapter 3 talks about the day of Armageddon. The day of where all the troops come together in the midst, and Yahweh Shemashai is going to judge them. I want to read verse 1 and 2 and then skip down to verse 9, I believe. Verse, probably, I want to, yeah. Verse 9. Yeah, verse 9. I'm going to read 1 and verse 3 and then verse 9. So book of Joel 3, let's read the verse 1. For behold, in those days and at that time, I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. So YAHWASHI, in those days, in the end time, in those days mean the end time right now, he says he's going to bring back the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. He's going to save Israel, so-called Negroes, Latin American, because they're in captivity to this day. They're scattered among the heathens. They're in America. They're in Canada. They're in Russia. They're in China. There's some of them is in Japan. Some of them is in North Korea. Some of them in South Korea. They're all over the place. All right, but first and foremost, Yahweh Shemashai is going to save the elect of Israel, the 144,000 that is in America, with those chariots that what you're seeing. Verse 2, I will also gather all nations and bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, or Yahweh judgment. That's in the Middle East. He's going to gather all you nations in the Middle East. That's what's happening right now. Why do you think America is gathering up their troops and getting ready for the troops? Why do you think China and Russia are getting ready for troops? Yahweh Shemashai is causing you nations to go to war, to go meet you up in the Middle East so he could judge you. Why do you think there's UFOs in Lebanon? You think that's just a coincidence? No, they're there to see if the prophecies going as according to plan. They're there to judge you. And will plead with them there for my people of my heritage, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. So basically, Yahweh Shemashai is going to say, look, you had hurt my beloved. I am going to kill you now. That's basically what's going to happen. And he's not going to talk. He's just going to start slaughtering you heathens. All right, if you're wondering why these UFOs are here, they're here for vengeance. They're here to kill you nations. All right. I really want to go for the word plead. All right.
Plead.
Make an emotional appeal. Scripture says that, I believe in the book of Isaiah says, you hear a roar of war. All right. Yahushua was crying. Like a battle cry. Probably I'm roughly paraphrasing that. But is that not an emotional appeal? Is that not Yahushua being angry? All right. That's a proof that he's going to make an emotional appeal against you nations. All right. A presence and to argue for a position, especially in a court and another public context. A claim, dissimilar, he says claim, or argue, a state or a statement, or a beg and treatment. He's not going to beg nobody, but it's basically going back to the point. Yahweh Shemashai is going to be like, hey, you guys had hurt my beloved. I am going to kill you. I'm going to commit genocide against you nations. And what I want to do it with, I'm going to do it with this fat chariot and all these other chariots and smack. And it's going to be a complete genocide. It's not going to be a fair game. It's not going to be a fair game. You know? Anyways, let's go to Joel 3. Let's skip down to verse 9. It says, this proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, the heathens. Prepare war, wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. And that's happening right now. Multiple nations around the world are preparing themselves for war. It's happening right now. The notification that popped up, I believe that was Prepper Now, a few moments ago, it was his title was saying bad. Why? Because multiple nations are preparing for war. All right. Verse 10, it says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. The weak nations are now saying they're strong, and they're going to go to war against who? Against America. All right. And America ally is going to go to war against them, and, prophecy. Verse 11, assemble yourself and come, all ye heathens, gather yourself together round about, thither cause thy mighty ones to come down. O Lord Yahweh Shemashah, who is his mighty ones? The angels. What are the angels going to be flying? The chariots. The chariots. All right, verse 12 says what? Let the heathen be awake and come up the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the price is full, the fat overflow, for their wickedness is great. Verse 14, multitude in the valley of decision, for in the day of the Lord Yahweh is near, in the valley of decision. And that's the day when he's going to start slaughtering a lot of you heathens. And who's going to, those UFOs you're seeing is going to be the main thing that's going to be killing you heathens. All right. Going to the book of Revelation 12, because Revelation 12 is about how it talks about how the angels of Yahushua is going to fight the angels of Esau Edom, or dragons. And, dragon Esau Edom was basically symbolic for one another. Basically, the dragon angels are basically the jets. Is gonna go against the Yahushua angels, are basically the UFOs. They're basically gonna have a dogfight in the sky. A dogfight is basically when two aerial vehicles are fighting in the sky. If you go on YouTube and search for dogfights, you see two airplanes fighting each other, and that's basically what's gonna happen in the end times. You're gonna see dogfights. But is America gonna win? Is the other nation gonna win? No, they're not gonna win. How can we have video proof showing you that, Salakia. We have video proof from Redacted and other video proof, and even the government has proof of how they shot missiles at a UFO or so-called UFO, and it did nothing. Do you think that jet is going to do something? No, they're not going to do nothing to it. All right, Salakia. I thought, hold on, can I put do not disturb? Because a lot of notification pops up. I don't want to get distracted. Where is do not disturb at? Wireless decks, color, extra dim, song. Oh, it's not here. I'll put eye comfort on too, but where is it? Oh, it's not here. Too bad. But going back to the point, the angels not gonna be found in the sky because they're gonna get their ass whooped. Not the angels, the Most High, but the chariots of Esau, Edom, the jets, the F-22s. They're not gonna be found in the skies. They're gonna get wiped out. It's gonna be a slaughter. I always love making a comparison of using Madara Uchiha from Naruto against the allied nations. All right, because that's basically what's gonna happen. It's gonna be a Madara Uchiha against the allied nations, and they're gonna get their ass whooped. That's basically what's gonna happen. So Revelation 12 verse 7, and there was a war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragons fought against his angels. So basically, Michael, the archangel, one of the powerful angels that Yahushua is about to bring down to America, they're gonna fight against the dragons. That basically the chariot, the F-22s, the Raptors, the Su-57, the Russia jets. They're gonna fight each other. And what's gonna happen? They're gonna have war in heaven, basically gonna have war in the sky, and prevailed not, neither was their place found anymore in heaven. Meaning that they flopped, they failed, they lost the war, they lost the dogfight. Alright, they lost the dogfight. It was an embarrassing defeat. They thought they had it and they didn't have it. Verse 9, and a great dragon was cast out, an old serpent called the devil, that's basically Esau, Edom, Satan, which deceived the whole world. He whitewashed the scriptures and told the whole world that he was the God, he was the chosen people. That wasn't true. They were just Edomites, and he was cast out of the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. The angels, the chariots that he has, those drones, it was cast down on earth, meaning that they lost the war. They got utterly destroyed. Because this war that's about to come to pass is not a war where a nation wins. It's a war where everybody fights and everybody loses. It's not a win situation because YAHAWASHI is going to be the one that's going to be the victor. All right? Well, yeah, then the nation is going to win. Who is the nation? Israel, so-called Negroes, Latino, and American. They're going to win. This war that's about to come to pass is a YAHAWASHI war, and he's going to win. All right? So let's grab another precept real quick. I want to go to hit home the point. I want to go to 2nd Ezra chapter 13 because it talks about the War 3, where Yahushua comes with the chariots. 2nd Ezra chapter 13, and I love this chapter because it basically tells you what's gonna happen. It tells you everything, you know. Okay, this one is kind of bad. I want it to be proper English. Dude, that's 2 Kings. Oh, it's not even giving me Ezra's chapter 13. Yup. Boom. Alright. So 2nd Ezra 13, verse 1, it says this, and it came to pass, after 7 days, 7 days mean complete, I dream a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the ways thereof. And I behold, and lo, a man waxed strong, with thousands of heaven. Who's a man waxing strong? Who is that? That is Yahawashi. With 1,000 in heaven, meaning 1,000 chariots. He got a military with him. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. Yeah, everybody's gonna be scared in those days. Imagine you find World War III and you shooting people, you killing people, and you look in the sky, you see a UFO, a fat UFO, multiple UFOs. You're gonna be scared. You're gonna have no clue what the hell to do. And they're killing you and the enemies and your allies. Everybody's gonna be scared. I'll be scared too. Who wouldn't be scared? You know? Verse 4 says this, and whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burn that heard the voice. Those are the laser beams. It's being metaphorical. Now, is Yahawashi gonna speak and laser beam gonna come out of his mouth? No. It's just metaphorical of what the ship's gonna do towards the people. And whoever heard it got burned. Meaning that whoever saw it, they got their ass zapped. Like as the earth felleth when it filled the fire. Verse 5. And after this I behold, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men, a number from the four winds of the heaven. Those are the nations for war. Remember the book of Joel? He gathered them in the valley of Jehoshaphat. It says what? To subdue the men that came out of the sea. So these nations saw the chariots. They saw the UFO coming in, the fat chariot that Yahawashi was riding on. And they said, you know what? Let's set aside our differences and let's fight that guy, because that thing is dangerous. And they're going to start fighting the Yahawashi. But what did Revelation chapter 17 say? Well, verse 12 say. Revelation chapter 12. They prevailed. There was no sign of Esau, Edom up in heaven. They all lost the war. They lost it. They basically got defeated by Yahawashi. Verse 6 says what? But I behold, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew upon it. A great mountain, talking about, is basically how big the size of the ship is. It's fat. It's basically fat. Verse 7, but I would have seen the region or place whereout the hills was graven, and I could not. So basically you couldn't see nothing else but that big ship. All right, verse 8, and after this I behold, and lo, all they which were gathered together to slew him were sore afraid, and yet they durst fight. Meaning that they was afraid, but they still fought him. And what happened? They lost. It was a horrible fell. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that come, he neither lift up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war, but only I saw that he sent out his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lip a flaming breath, and out of the tongue he casted out sparks and tempests, meaning that he shot laser beams. You think the F-22, the modern day jet, could handle a laser beam attack? No, they're not, and they're going to lose, and that's what's going to happen. They're going to see the fat UFO, they're going to see the only begotten son coming, Yahawashi, and they're gonna try to fight him. They're gonna try to do anything in their power to make sure he gets subdued, and they're gonna lose. And what's gonna happen? They're dying. And they're gonna die. And that's the answer for the UFOs. That is a true answer of what they're here for. Like I could bring more scriptures out to show more proof. You know, this is just a reality. This is the reason why UFOs are here to bring judgment upon you heathens for what you have done to the Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Americans. All right, that's what they're here for. And Yahawashi, the only begotten Son, is there to bring the judgment. That's the angels. All right. 2 Ezra chapter 13, verse 11. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flame of breath, and a great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which were prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. So basically, Yahawashi fought everybody in this war, and they all lost. They all lost. And what did he use? He used the UFOs, the chariots. You guys call it UFOs, but those are the chariots. Those are his weapons. Weapon of Yahweh Shemashai. and he's going to come with a great multitude and destroy you heathens for what you have done. It's a day of vengeance. All right, the reason why they're not telling you this is because you guys will be scared. Everybody will figure out the truth, and you're going to be scared because what's going to happen right after he defeats the military power? Everybody's going to captivity. Everybody's going under captivity. It's like the Rockefellers know that. That's why. Why do you think they're trying to build bunkers, or they're trying to build space bunkers? They're trying to run away from their judgment. All right, let's hold on real quick. Let me grab Revelation. Revelation chapter 6, KJV. Let's go down. Let's go to the last scripture. It says this, and said to the mountain and to the rocks, follow us and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne. All right, this is Revelation chapter 6, verse 16. So I went straight to the point. We can read. Let's read 15. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains. So the rich people, the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, the 1%, they hid themselves. All right, and said to the mountains and the rocks, follow us and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. Who was the Lamb? YAHAWASHI. Why they're saying it? Because they saw a clip of YAHAWASHI, a fat chariot with his angels, with those UFOs, smacking down their chariots that they got, the F-22s, the thing, and they got scared and they went to the bunker side. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? Only the elect, the people that's found written in the book. But everybody else, they're not going to be able to stand. Who's going to be able to stand in those days? Nobody. Nobody else. Everybody's going to just be put to death. It's just going to be a great slaughter. That's why Isaiah says it's going to be a great, it's a bloodbath. I need to get it real quick. Isaiah 60, if I'm not mistaken, probably 63 actually. Isaiah 63. Let me get it real quick. Where was it? I know it was in the book of 63. Probably it was Isaiah 34. All right, Isaiah 63 verse 6 says this, and I will tread down the people in my anger and make them drunk in my fury, and I will bring down their strength to the earth. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Call out YAHAWASHI. What is their strength? They always boast about their weapons. It's their F-22s, man. America's strength is their F-22s. Their F-22s, their B-bombers, and Abrams tanks. YAHAWASHI said, well, he's going to bring their strength down. All right, now there's a new thing about how they use drones. That's their new strength now. That's going to be brought down to the grave too. All right, so that's basically what the UFOs are here for. And I thought I should do a lesson about it because they're trying to hide it. But I will tell you the truth. This is the vengeance of the Lord. That's all it is. It is his ships here to basically set a prophecy for a judgment. So all the heathens could be. Let me grab the scripture real quick to hit home of the idea. Obadiah chapter 1, verse 15, KJV. It says this, Obadiah 1 and 15. For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathens, as thou hast done, and what you've done to the Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latino, and American. You have ravaged them, destroyed their land. You basically already destroyed them. So what's going to happen? It shall be done unto thee. So since you have destroyed us, it's going to happen to you. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. And literally, it's going to return upon your own head because he's going to be over you in those days. Literally. All right. But that's all I want to get into today. Louis edified by this lesson, and you know the truth of these UFOs because they're trying to keep it a secret. It's not a secret anymore. You know, the prophets has been saying this for years. All right, first one was a GREATMILLSTONE, Elder Apostle Tahar, Elder Apostle Kabar, Elder Apostle Grandmoff, Elder I forgot the other one. Fudge, I'm so bad at these names. But and the other brothers I was with the elders in those days too, in the years of 2000 all the way up to now, they've been saying it, and now it's coming to life. That's all it is. All right, but that's how I want to get into today. Louis edified by this lesson. I do want to give all praises to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH for giving the opportunity to do this lesson. I do want to give double honors to the elders and apostle GREATMILLSTONE for teaching the truth by using precept upon precepts and line upon line. Shalom.